Right, hello there everyone, welcome back to James Redmond TV and welcome to the Liverpool versus Tottenham versus Liverpool because we're away from home preview and I've got an absolute superstar on the channel. I've had Saeed on the channel, I've had Turkish on the channel, I've had Steve on the channel, and I just don't think it gets more brutally honest than the main man Tobes. Toby, first of all, appreciate you coming on the channel, lads, and second of all, how are you feeling?
Thanks for having me on, man. It's been a long time since we've done some content together. I'm glad to be
Defo.
back. How am I feeling about the game? Listen, I'm not feeling confident, and it may sound crazy for you for me to say that when you probably consider Liverpool as like a more inconsistent team than Spurs this season, but I'm not feeling confident because I feel like we've just got one too many injuries in the attacking spots for us to really impact this game the way I want it to go. But yeah, I'm not feeling confident. I'll be real.
So you're telling me that you're being a shitbag? Come on, Toby. You're third in the table and you've got no chest. Have you seen the size of you? And you've got no chest. Do you know where I am at the moment, Toby? Do you know
You know
where
what
I am
is?
at the moment? We're ninth or something in the table, and you're talking to me about I get the injuries thing. We've got injuries as well. It's heavy because nowadays you can't even use injuries as an excuse. And
Yeah.
I think that's partly down to Liverpool fans in the COVID season. I think we used it that much. It's
Yeah,
like, nah,
exactly.
injuries don't
You
matter no more.
exhausted
You
it.
can.
Yeah.
If you use your under 21s, as long as they're wearing the first team badge, it's all good. The way I see the game is exactly how you see it, but I feel I have more reason. Do you think there is like a big impact with the amount of injuries you got? And what was your most previous game?
Marseille, we beat them 2-1, and that was our most previous game.
Okay, so what I was going to say is what was the game before that as well in the
So
league?
Bournemouth, we beat them 3-2. You
But
know
they
what
were
it is
like
though?
both very close, innit? Now
Yeah,
go on,
yeah,
you go.
yeah. You know what it is though, James? Like I'm not even one to like. I don't really like. I don't like using injuries as an excuse, and I'm not gonna. I wouldn't mention injuries had we had one of our prime attacking options available. But when you have three first choice attackers missing, and with the system we play,
It's heavy.
it's difficult. Like
Yeah.
I didn't talk about injuries when we played Bournemouth. I didn't talk about injuries when we played Newcastle. I didn't talk about injuries when we played United. I didn't talk about injuries when we played Marseille. You just got to get on with it. But with the way I wanted us to play against Liverpool, it's like it's fundamental that we need to have someone who's actually intelligent enough to run off Kane. And with no Kulusevski, no Richarlison, and no Son, like we literally have no other attacker that can build up a nice chemistry with Harry Kane. That's the problem.
No, son. And
That's the
even though
problem.
Richarlison, because even though, remember our debate that we had
Yeah,
on
yeah,
Richarlison,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, and lads, I still believe that if he played, I still don't think he's to take Tottenham further than where they already are. However, what I would say is if he played against us, he has the capability to cause us issues because he's done it before. He could easily do it again. I'm praying to the Lord. I'm so happy. I never play on people's injuries, and usually I like to beat the best version of teams. Right now, Toby, I couldn't give two shiny shites. Give me the most weak Tottenham that you could possibly give me because
Mm.
I'm here competing for top four. I want to be competing for league titles, but I know that's very unrealistic. What's your position on Antonio Conte at the moment? I'm a big avid watcher of the Big Six, so I see you having debates with people. The football isn't great, but the results are there. You're through to the rounds of
Yeah,
16. And I feel like he is getting you the efficient results that Tottenham
100.
are wanting, just not the way that you want them.
100%. Listen, he's the reason why I speak with such vim when it comes to Conte is because that's my manager. Do you get what I'm saying? I love
Yes.
Antonio Conte at Spurs. Like I love him at Spurs.
And you can
I
invest
want,
into him as well. He's a manager that you
yeah,
can
bro,
get behind based on his philosophy.
100%. I love the passion. I love the drive. I love how he's made us a team that can actually win games even when we're not playing at our best. Like he's been amazing for the most part since he's come to Spurs. But at the same time, I think when you look at some of the issues we've faced as a club this season, despite us being third, despite us being in the round of 16, I think Conte has to take some accountability, man. I think sometimes he's set the team up too negatively. Sometimes he's played players that shouldn't have played. Sometimes he's not rotated the team the way he should be rotating the team, and it's cost us. So and it's cost him as well. So these are things that can be worked upon, but I don't
Yeah.
subscribe to this whole, oh, he's a dinosaur notion. I don't subscribe to this notion that he's this ultra negative manager and he just plays boring, ugly, anti-football, of this stuff. Yeah, the football's not been good this season, but people need to remember that we've scored. I think we're still one of the highest scorers in 2022 when it comes to league football, and just goals in all competitions as well. So people need to remember that before they try throw shade on Antonio Conte.
Do you know what I was going to say there? Is Conte's football currently, so you said you don't subscribe to the idea that it's just the way he plays and that's constantly how it is. So do you more associate it? Because in my mind, Toby, let me know if there's any other alternatives. It's one or two things. Either he is a dinosaur and he's been able to do it well with other teams before and he gets that initial great bounce. He done it at Chelsea. It didn't take him longer to win the league either. Got top four with Tottenham, which looked very unrealistic when he came into the job.
Exactly.
Do you think it's because the players are just under par in terms of quality, so to maximise them, you've got to put them in a defensive system? Because I say it with United right now won't play the same football they have forever if they get the players that Ten Hag wants, because that's not his style of football. They'll be more expansive. Do you see that with Antonio Conte as well? Not to the level of Ten Hag, but once he gets more of his own players.
I think once he gets more of his own players, you'll definitely see a better product. I think you'll see a team that are way more assured in terms of playing out from the back. You'll see a team that are way braver when it comes to sort of playing balls in between the lines. That's something we don't do enough of. At times we're quite it's quite like lateral. We play like horizontal passes. We don't really play like vertical passes because I think at times we don't have enough quality to sort of penetrate teams that way. But at the same time, I think again, Conte doesn't help himself because this squad is not. Listen, there's poor players in this team. There's one too many poor players in this team still, but this is still a good enough squad to have played better than we have done this season. Like, we can play better than this. He got us playing better with a worse squad last year, so he can play better with this squad. And I think the fact that some of the football you've seen this season hasn't been good enough, I think he has to take some accountability for that. He has to. But without question, yes, if Spurs do make some game-changing signings in, I don't know, like midfield, in defense, wing-back position, you will see a much better brand of football.
How's Basuma been so far? Because I remember in the summer I saw you get Basuma for 25 million. I was thinking we missed out on a trick there. You know, I'm looking to get on this, Toby. I'm in that bad of a position, yeah. It's like if you go really, really rich. Say if you get a lucky lottery ticket or something like that, and then you're richer than everyone, but you don't save your money well, and then you end up being poorer than the people you're flexing on. I look at this situation very, very similar, because I look at yous now and the position that yous are in, and I think, okay, they're maximising what they can sort of get out of these. And I don't know if you agree with the idea of that you're maximising it, but that's just what the results tell me. Not performances, but the results that you're getting is, like, do Tottenham get much better than third in round of 16? Can Conte take Tottenham further is the question that I'm asking.
I think he can. I think in terms of results, yeah, you're probably right. I think third is about right. Third is where I want it to be. Third is where I is my target. So I think results wise, when you look at points accumulated and positions, I don't think you can see like a significant uplift. But in terms of performances, I think you can. I don't think this season Antonio Conte has maximized the squad to its fullest. Like, at least last year you could say, like, like, he's literally squeezed every drop of quality out of this squad. This season, I don't think you can say that. I think you've got players like Basuma, who I think Basuma's not been great, but he's not been awful either. He's had some poor games, but he's had some better games. I think he's still finding his feet, but a problem with Conte's management this season is that he's not rotated the team enough. So someone like Basuma, they're only getting minutes now, and he's only sort of finding his way into the team now. So he still needs to find his best version of himself. Like, I look at players like Bentancur. Bentancur is enjoying his best football for us this season right now, but he started off the season up and down. Yeah, he had the opportunity to play through his poor form and get to the position now where he's playing really well, back to his normal level. We need to give Basuma that opportunity, and I don't think Conte has given Basuma that opportunity up until recently. I can say the same for the likes of Skip, who's only just getting back into the team. Jed Spence has barely had a
Forgot
sniff yet.
about
We'll see.
Skip, you know. I forgot about Skip. He was supposed to be the next big thing, weren't he, Skip? Is he still...
Skip is Skip is good. Skip, I like Skip. He's a good prospect for sure. And
How
I think
old is he now?
he's 20. I think he's 21 or 22. But in fact, he's not even a prospect. I think Oliver Skip is just generally. I think he's like he's a nice player to have in the squad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he can become a really good player for Spurs. And I think he's already, to be honest, a good player right now. But I think Conte, he's just not rotated this team well enough, and he's hamstrung in certain positions. Like because the club didn't sell the likes of Sanchez and didn't bring in a proper sick left centre back and stuff like that, he has to use bummy players. Like he has to play Dyer most weeks. But I also think that in positions like Basuma, like Jed Spence, like utilizing Richarlison on the left, remember the argument we had about like some games, Son doesn't need to play every game. Play Richarlison. You were like, oh no, like genuinely, he should do that more often. He should crib Son and play the likes of Richie on the left hand side. And it's not even a case of Richie's better than Son. It's just more a case of refreshing the team, like revamping the team, getting the team to.
And I agreed with that notion. It was just the circumstances at the time, as you drew and lost a couple of games, and then you went on to play Fulham. Funnily enough, Richarlison actually had a really good game that game. To be honest with you, he had a brilliant game. Lad, he did. On that same show, I got the 1-1 City prediction right with Aston Villa, so I had an absolute amazing time there. And then because I was supposed to come back on the show, it didn't end up happening. But when I was supposed to come back on, I was thinking, but Toby's gonna have me with this Richarlison thing, you know, because he actually played sick against Fulham. So when you look at Liverpool, Toby, do you see any worries, concerns? Do you believe that we are because obviously statistically we are literally a worse team, the way we're playing, we're a worse team, but is there anything in our team that you look at and think, but it's still Liverpool, that's still that player and he can cause us problems?
100%, man, 100%. Listen, man, it's still Liverpool. Like, don't get it twisted. I don't think, based off what we've seen so far this season, I don't think you're going to win the league. I think you're quite well off winning the league title. Like, to be honest, I think the title's done for Liverpool, if I'm being real.
Agree.
I just think the way you guys have played this season, it does not look like a team that's capable of going on the consistent streak that you went on last season. And I don't mean winning 4 or 5 games on the spin. I believe this current Liverpool team can do that. I mean going unbeaten for like 20 odd games, winning like 10, 11 games on the spin. I don't think that's going to happen. And I think that's the pace you need to be at to maintain a race with Man City. But I look at this Liverpool team, and for me, I still think you're dead set for top 4. This is what I was saying to Grizz on Monday on the Big Six. I still think you're dead set for top 4. I still think Liverpool are going to finish probably second. I look at the players that. I do. I genuinely do. I genuinely do, because I feel like people are quick to talk on Liverpool. Yes, we know that there are some players there are quite a few players that have underperformed and are not playing well or are past it, etc., etc. But there are some players that are really good and are not part of this team. Luis Diaz is going to come back in the turn of the year. Diogo Jota is going to come back in the turn of the year. Konate is already back in the team right now. Do you get what I'm saying? So, like, that's already 3 additions that will take Liverpool from here to here. Do you get what I'm saying? So,
I agree.
I still think, and then Robertson obviously comes back into the team as well. He's a significant upgrade on to Tsimikas. Trent won't be bad for the whole season. Trent will start to impact games. And I even think in recent games, I think going forward, I've liked what I've seen from Trent, to be honest. So Liverpool still have way too much quality to finish outside of the top 4 for me. Way too much quality. So, yeah, there's a lot of threat. There's a lot of threats.
I think that's why teams are still buzzing when they get a result against us. No one takes into consideration, Liverpool are shitter than what they was. You're still going to take it as beating Liverpool because you're still coming up against Mo Salah, you're still coming up against Virgin, all these players. And you mentioned a few names there. What I've noticed, Toby, is some of our better players are the ones who aren't notoriously world class. So it's the ones who have been the Konates, who hasn't been a first teamer in the previous seasons. Tsimikas has put in some great performances at left back. When you move further up the pitch, you've got Carvalho, Harvey Elliott, who you kind of look at those two as the future in terms of 2 players who are going to be involved in our first team. Calvin Ramsey came on against Napoli and looked brilliant. Like you said, Trent's been showing better signs, but I still have a lot of questions over Trent. I think the way Liverpool have the best game against Spurs is if we do what we need to be doing, which is not playing the players consistently who, not just for 5 to 10 games, but for a really long time now. When you talk about the Fabinhos and possibly Trent, if you want to include him in that mix, I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to drop those players for certain games. This one, however, I think you've got many injuries up front. You haven't got Richarlison, who's such a tricky winger. You haven't got Kulusevski, who can cause shit. Like, I think that the attackers that you've got is stylistically much better for Trent. So in terms of how we're going to line up and set up, the way I see it is Trent's going to start, Konate's going to be at the back, and I think that's a huge issue for Harry Kane. Just because of the physicalness of Konate. I think if it was Gomez and Van Dijk, they have proven that they've shown holes in the team this season, whereas Konate, he came against Napoli and just absolutely shined. So I think they're our strongest points. How do you see Spurs lining up? And where do you think we have to worry most with the injuries that you've got taken into consideration?
I think in terms of our lineup, I think he'll go over 3-5-2. He'll go over 3-5. If that, the thing is, like, for me, my prediction on this result is on a knife edge. If they tell me that one of Kulusevski or Richarlison can start, then I'll back Spurs to win. If they say no, they can't play, then I'll back Spurs to win.
You think they have that much of a difference, do you? Yeah.
I think they do to the attack, yeah, because I just feel like both of those players will be able to build up a much better understanding with Harry Kane than Lucas Moura. I think it's too much for Lucas Moura, and I don't rate him. I think
he'll probably end up scoring now, but I'm praying Lucas Moura
he's so poor. He's so poor.
I am praying.
He's no threat to Liverpool in my opinion. But I think the way we'll line up is we'll play a 3-5-2. I feel like we're gonna need and ask a lot from our midfielders this game in the absence of a another potent attacker alongside Harry Kane.
Who will be your midfield most likely for this game?
It will be Basuma, Højbjerg, and Bentancur if they're all fit.
Oh, Toby Order. See, I look at the midfield for every game. So when we're coming up against the team and their midfield's in really good form and they've got nothing but good, energetic players, I look at that and I think, okay, Thiago, he's on and off. He's one of those, like, recently I've saw good spells or world-class spells where he looks like Iniesta reincarnated, and then I'll see spells in a game where he dips and he doesn't match the energy that you need for certain Premier League games, and I think that's why midfield can take advantage. And when I think of Bentancur, when I think of Højbjerg, when I think of Basuma, I'm thinking of engines, I'm thinking of technique, I'm thinking of, honestly, just being outrun. And if that's the case, then I also think we'll lose this game. It's just, can you take your chances and can we take ours? I was going to ask you as well, you're on to like the Luis Diaz and Kulusevski debate?
Yeah, I am.
Like, who's been a better signing? What's your opinion on that one?
I think Kulusevski's been a better signing, but I rate Luis Diaz. I think Luis Diaz is quality, but I think when you look at the impact both players have had on their club, I think Kulusevski's impact is great. Is greater than Diaz is for Liverpool. I think you see the team without Kulusevski, you see how the team's struggling. What he brings us on that right-hand side, he's a threat in transition, but he can come short. He can play make. He's got a good eye for goal. He's so strong. He can take players on 1v1. Like, he's quality, man. And it's no diss. Like, I don't really think there's loads wrong with people saying that Luis Diaz over Kulusevski. I think it's a worthy debate because Luis Diaz is actually cold, but I just think like Kulu is just razor sharp, man. Like, and I think with Kulusevski, I think the one thing I like about him that I'll take over Luis Diaz is his decision making. I just think Kulusevski's the decisions he takes when he's on the ball, they're just better. Not just Luis Diaz, but just generally, like, he makes really, really good decisions on the ball.
See, really I can give you that. I think Kulusevski does make better decisions than Luis Diaz, and I think Luis Diaz needs to blossom too. I think there's more flair in Luis Diaz's game, edge, because Kulusevski's got that as well. And I also think Kulusevski's got a better or a more efficient left foot, let's say. So I don't think it's bad whoever you put one above the other. I think they've had very good trajectory in terms of their careers. I think they've both impacted the team in good ways. I just wanted to know what you think, because I've been seeing like loads of people dissing Luis Diaz, and I'm thinking, but every time he plays in our team, he's played a much better team to have him in it. You know, it's another goal threat. He's proven he can get goals since he's joined the team. And I do think some of the slander that goes Luis Diaz's way is unwarranted, whereas I think Kulu, and rightly so, I think he's been given the respect that that he deserves since joining Spurs. I think a lot of people have rated that signing. Toby, before we round up, brother, just want to say one more time, proper appreciate you coming on the channel, guys. His channel link is in the title. I'm going to be on his channel at 6:30, I believe. We eventually confirmed before the show started. So make sure you tune into that. Click on his channel. Keep up with the content that he does, because we're all in this together, people. We're all in this footballing community, and it's just better if we're all supporting each other. So go subscribe. Toby, score prediction, if you have one. Confidence, no confidence, or is it circumstantial?
I'm not confident with those injuries, but I've been saying lost. But you know what? F it, man. With the midfield, if our midfield can turn up, then I guess we can probably try and get a point.
Give us the clips, lad. Give us the clips.
I'll get a point. I'll take a point. I'll take a point. 1-1. 1-1.
1-1 against Spurs is the worst result I can think of after that season. It was literally the thing that cost us the title, you bastards. Spursy. Fucking Spursy. If that's not revenge for the Champions League final, I don't know what is. You know what I mean? They took our Premier League. Well in. I'm going to say, I'll be honest with you, I see a draw written all over it. Probably 0-0. I'll go 1-1. I don't see us keeping a clean sheet. I could see you doing it, but Nunes has found a few more goals. Salah's found a few more goals recently, and I think just with the positioning of Nunes, I don't rate his on-the-ball ability, but I do think he can find space, and if you do give him
he's gonna cause
half a chance, he'll be an issue. So they're the predictions in, people. Again, go subscribe to Toby. Smash a like on this video if you did enjoy, and appreciate all the support that you've been showing me on the channel since my return to YouTube. I know I keep banging on like a drum about it, but it's been dead overwhelming, so thank you very much, and keep it up. Anyway, people, I've been your boy James. This has been Toby, and we will see you all in a bizzle. Peace out.
Peace.